If I like to tell about him, he's a person who is very passionate about curating and implementing innovative ideas that have an inspiring impact. He has also been mentoring young minds, and he is the founder of One and Only Advertising, which is a UAE-born creative agency that saves brands, startups, and companies from mediocrity. He's also the founder of UConnect and Unipreneur. He's been operating from UAE and also India, and he has been helping others with strategic branding, integrated marketing, media production. And the last speaker, Dr. Communication Member, brand is Space Kids India. This brand that is found One and Only Advertising. They are taking care of the international branding for Space Kids India. We are really fortunate to have two back-to-back sessions, something like to Space Kids India. And this has also been organizing business events focusing on networking and also knowledge exchange. So it's none other than Mr. Mohammad Mukhtar. It's a pleasure having him here. Welcome, sir.
Hi, everybody. Is my audio and my video clear?
Yes, sir. Both are clear.
Good to go?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for that introduction. I have a complaint to make first. If you bring such powerful speakers like Dr. Srimati, it's difficult for us to continue that momentum. So jokes apart, I think all of us loved that session of Dr. Srimati. It's not new for me because Dr. Srimati is a mentor I also work closely with and look up to. And we've done work in India and in the UAE as well. So thank you, Dr. Srimati, for that energetic session. Like I said, in a way, it's a disadvantage for the next speaker to take that momentum forward, but I will try to do justice, though I cannot compare it. So before moving on, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, a very good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are, to everybody here. Huge congratulations first to the 3G ME Life team, Dr. Shahid and his team. We've been working closely for a couple of months now. We had invited Dr. Shahid to one of our events in IIT Madras last 6 months back. And ever since, the journey with Dr. Shahid himself has been very inspiring. We've learned a lot from him, and we are planning a lot of interesting things in the Middle East and elsewhere. So thank you, Dr. Shahid. Thank you, the emceeing team, Nandini, and the rest of the team who've been coordinating with us, and obviously the entire 3G team. It's an honor to be working with you. Moving on. So today's topic of discussion, what we're going to be speaking about, is entrepreneurship versus intrapreneurship. Steve Jobs or Sundar Pichai, who do you want to be? Before I begin and start, I'm going to give you a introduction first about myself, so that you know where I come from and the initiatives that we've been involved in. I'm going to quickly share my screen for you. Thank you, everybody who welcoming me. I mean, it's an honor to be a part of this amazing crowd. Okay. Before that, I just want to quickly share with you something, a very interesting photograph. Again, I'm harnessing off the energy that Dr. Srimati said. Can everybody see the picture on the screen? Can we get a confirmation from the MCs?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. So that is the wonderful Dr. Srimati along with the lead scientist Rifat Shahrukh. This was at Dubai World Trade Center a year back, where my company had organized a special session where Space Kids India was flown into Dubai, and they got to present their story on stage at Dubai World Trade Center. And Dubai World Trade Center is a client of my company. I run a branding and marketing agency, and I also run a startup networking initiative. I will be delving into details about that. So through those initiatives, I was involved with government entities in the UAE, like Dubai World Trade Center. And when I told them about Space Kids India, they were mind blown. They were like, "You need to get them here, Mukhtar, as soon as possible. The world needs to know about Space Kids India, and we need to inspire a lot other young innovators from this region." So that is us a year back, to give you a little glimpse of our journey. And now, without further ado, I'm going to quickly go into my introduction so that you may know. Yeah, okay. Again, can everybody see the screen?
Yes, sir, we can see your first slide.
Okay, great. I'm going to go through my speaker profile. This is for you to understand who I am, and I will tell you at the end of this why we do this, right? So my name is Mohammad Mukhtar Jahangir. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a mentor, I'm a learner, The learner part is something I'm very, very passionate, keen about. You can never stop learning. You can never know enough, right? So you always need to learn, right from your building watchman to a scientist or your parents or your friends. Everybody has something important to teach you. You need to humble yourself. No matter how successful you become in business, in science, in whatever field you are in, you always need to be a humble learner and learn from everybody, right? So that's how I like to. Those are the titles I like to associate myself with. I have three initiatives that I founded with like-minded people. One of the things I don't like saying is being a self-made person. How many of you have heard of this term self-made? If you have heard of this term self-made, can you just raise your hands up or just say yes? And also, how many of you like the term self-made? By the way, this session is going to be interactive. I like to keep the sessions interactive. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions back and forth. So, how many of you like the word? Okay, let me see your answers. Just a second. Okay, we've got an interesting set of answers. Now, let me tell you something. I hate the term self-made, right? A self-made millionaire, self-made billionaire, self-made entrepreneur. I hate that term because, in essence, nobody in this world is self-made. When somebody claims to be self-made, that shows a little bit of arrogance, which is really not good for the long term, right? No matter who you are, no matter what struggles you came from, there is always somebody helping you, right? Starting with God Himself, then your parents. I mean, how did you come on? If you're a self-made man, how did you come onto this earth? It was because of your parents, right? And their nurturing and so on and so forth. At every stage of every successful entrepreneur who claims to be self-made, there is somebody's help that he or she takes, whether it's their parents, whether it's their friends, whether, like I said, somebody, like it could be even their cleaner at their home. There's always somebody that we learn from that helps us make who we are today. So that is something I just wanted to share with you, because we're speaking about entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship, and very often in this discourse of discussing about entrepreneurship, big names like Steve Jobs, Sundar Pichai, we forget the human element and we get carried away. And unfortunately, the aspects of humility, humbleness, and thankfulness is not thought. So that's why, coming back to the topic of being self-made, I don't like to be called self-made. I don't like people who call themselves self-made. And you yourself, when you become successful, never say you're self-made. There's always somebody who has been a contributing factor to your success in one way or the other. The moment you fix that, the moment you tell yourself that I am not self-made, I'm made because of God, because of parents, because of people helping me, that builds character. And what the world needs is not more Jeff Bezos who are multi-billionaires and have their own coffers filled, but the world needs billionaires who have a good heart as well, right? Who can make the world a better place. So on that interesting note, I will continue back with my brief introduction. Okay, so there are three initiatives I'm involved in. One is called One and Only Advertising, which is the main company I started with my co-founder Abdullah about 5 years back in the UAE. It's a branding and marketing and digital agency. So we work with brands like, for example, Space Kids India, to help them with their branding, their marketing, their communication, and their digital transformation. The second initiative I founded is called UConnect. UConnect is a networking platform for entrepreneurs, professionals like you and me, for us to be part of a cool club where we can meet each other, we can meet like-minded people, we can learn from each other. So UConnect is a networking and learning and development platform for young entrepreneurs, and future leaders. The third initiative we launched is called Unipreneur. Can anybody guess what Unipreneur means? Let me see how many creative minds we have here. What can you think when I say of Unipreneur? What is Unipreneur? Let me see your answers. Unipreneur, no. Only one person doing all the work? No. That's not possible. Solopreneur, no. Come on, nobody's even come close. Unipreneur. It's a mix of uni plus preneur. United entrepreneurs. Okay, close enough. Okay, let me give you a clue. It has to do something with youth. Probably if I share the logo with you, you might... I will share the logo in a while. Okay, you and I. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Hanan Rashid and Dr. Maharaja. Yeah, Hanan Rashid and Dr. Maharaja, correct. So this is a student entrepreneurship initiative, right? Unipreneur comes from the word university and entrepreneur. And let me ask you something now. What is common between Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg? What is common between them in relation to what I just said? USA, they're all from USA. Okay, they're all millionaires, they're all unique, they're all entrepreneurs. But there's something else that's yes, Soham Das, they are dropouts, right? And a different tangent to it is they all started, yes, like Kamal Joshi rightly mentioned, they all started their innovative journey when they were in their universities. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. The common thing among these three are they started their entrepreneurship journey, innovation journey when they were in university. So that's the point to be made here. So we thought, why can't India create the likes of Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg from the university ecosystem? That is what Unipreneur is about. It's about creating entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs and future leaders from universities. So quickly moving on. So that's Uconnect. So like you see in front of you, Uconnect is a engagement and development platform for university students aspiring to become inspiring entrepreneurs, and future leaders. That is what Unipreneur is. These are some of the projects I've worked in. I was involved in. I had the alhamdulillah, I had the opportunity to work with UAE's youngest inventor, youngest scientist. His name is called Adib Al Bulushi. You can Google him, Adib Al Bulushi. He was featured by CNN and many of the top media companies. He's UAE's youngest scientist. He has 7 patents to his name. So the organization that was handling him as a client reached out to us. It's a government entity. They said, we want somebody to create a brand identity, a marketing identity for Adib. And also in that process, we also started working deeply with him and developing some interesting concepts that we could share with the UAE government. Space Kids India again is an organization like I just shared with you. We're working on very, very closely. They are more close to our heart because the special relationship we share with Dr. Srimati and the amazing person that she is and their team is. So we're currently working with Space Kids India to do something amazing in the GCC in the UAE region. I'm not going to spell the beans, but this is a work in progress. I also had the opportunity to work with Richard Browning. Richard Browning is known as the real life Iron Man. Do we have any Iron Man fans here? If you're an Iron Man fan, please type in yes. How many of you like Iron Man? Okay, okay, interesting. Okay, lot of Iron Man fans here. So this guy is known as a real life Iron Man because what you see him holding is a jetpack, right? It's a jetpack that he puts around his waist, and he has a helmet. These boosters that go on his hand and they help him fly. So this guy has a jetpack, human body jetpack that can make him fly. So you can just Google Richard Browning, and then you can see videos of him actually flying over water and land and so on and so forth. So these are also one of the inventors that we are currently working with. Tanmay Bakshi is an AI prodigy. You must have definitely seen his videos that went viral a couple of years back. We also worked with him. We tried to bring him to the UAE about last year. It didn't work out, but we are again trying to bring him for next year. Then these are some of the other initiatives we're involved in called the Smart Cities Expo World Forum. So what we do as a passion through Uconnect, one of my organizations, is we want to connect the Indian startup ecosystem, tech ecosystem, with that of the rest of the world. So since I'm based in the UAE and I have a passion towards India, obviously, since I'm an Indian, what I try to do, my team does, is we try to connect innovative Indian startups and tech companies and bring them to the UAE. So this is one such initiative where we identified innovative Indian companies, and for free we gave them a booth to exhibit at a big smart city conference in the UAE. And these are some of the other events that we were involved in directly with the Ministry of Economy of UAE. We organized an event connecting the India-UAE startup ecosystem. This is again another mentoring session we organized at a government event in the UAE. That's me on stage hosting a panel discussion. This is another interesting, since my passion of speaking, areas of speaking is entrepreneurship and university students. I was invited by Khalifa University, which is Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the capital of UAE, and Abu Dhabi's biggest university is Khalifa University. And I was selected as a mentor for a group of students for the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. I was the only Asian mentor to be selected in that forum that had mentors from around the world, alhamdulillah. Then Dubai has a huge tech conference called GITEX Future Stars. Again, they are my clients, and we work with them closely to source Indian talent, Indian tech startups, and bring them to Dubai and have them explore a new avenue. This is us launching Unipreneur in Dubai. Again, Unipreneur, like I said, is the networking platform, development platform for university students. And these are just some of the other initiatives that we've taken up and the awards that we have won. Okay, that's it. So this is the beginning. We have the vision of making a positive impact to the world through entrepreneurship, innovation, and humanity. I look forward to an inspiring and impactful journey ahead. Sorry if that was a bit boring, and now we're gonna get into the gist of it. Let's see. Okay, thank you. You've got a lot of amazing comments. By the way, arranging webinars and being part of webinars is something I'm used to, but believe me, you can take my word for this. I'm really amazed by the audience today in terms of sheer number and your interactivity. So, before we start off, you need to, give a big hand to yourselves and to the team who brought this together. And I think, again, credit goes to Dr. Srimati for and Space Kids India for building that momentum, so it's easy for me to carry forward. So with that, moving ahead. Okay, thank you so much for your comments. Okay, moving ahead. So I'm going to start by sharing with you my screen again. Right. At any point, if you're not able to see my screen, kindly, I would request the MCs to let me know. So here are the initiatives I'm involved in. Unipreneur is, like I told you, the entrepreneurship platform for university students. One and Only is my main company. One and Only International is the main company, and it is a branding, marketing, and digital transformation agency. UConnect is a networking platform for entrepreneurs, professionals, and future leaders. Now, so this is the topic we're going to be speaking about: entrepreneurship versus entrepreneurship. Steve Jobs or Sundar Pichai, who are you going to be? It's going to be presented by me, Muhammad Mukhtar Jahangir, for 3GME Life's Career Guidance Conference. Okay, now let's delve deep into the topic, right? Entrepreneurship versus entrepreneurship. Why this topic? Many of you may be thinking, or maybe now you're thinking, why this topic? Because each one of you is special in your own way. And titles cannot define or confine you. I'm going to repeat myself. Each one of you is special in your own way, and titles cannot define or confine you. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. What matters most is passionately giving your best, being a good human being, and creating an inspiring legacy. Now, why do I say this? We live in a world where degrees, titles, surnames, sometimes they matter way too much, right? And it's unfair. And we kind of live in a world. How many of you have seen the movie Matrix? Let me see. Any millennials here? I don't know if the new age kids would have seen it. How many of you have seen the movie Matrix? Okay, interesting. By the way, it's Matrix now is a movie series that's almost, I think, 15 years old, right? So new kids on the block, those who are born after 2000s, then you should have a look at it. What's interesting about Matrix, and how I'm going to connect that with today's topic, is if you've seen the movie Matrix, the main character Neo is offered two pills. One is a blue pill and the other is a red pill. If he takes the blue pill, he continues to remain in this make-believe imaginary world where everything is fine, and everything is fake. Your emotions are fake, your relationships are fake, your achievements are fake. And whereas he also has the option of taking the red pill, he takes a red pill and he enters the real world where he has to make changes to the real world and make the real world a better place. So in a sense, a lot of us have taken the blue pill. We live in a world where titles, where what we wear, what we drive, where we live, how we look, it matters way more than what is on the inside. And unfortunately, this is what we're trying to change through organizations. A lot of successful entrepreneurs, public speakers, they speak more about the wealth, the money, the glamour, the fame, the material gain, and very, very less about the humanness inside us. The heart inside us, the aspect of being a good human being is not given that much importance that is supposed to be given. Now, why I'm telling you this is because entrepreneurship today is become like a fad. It's like a fashion. It's like engineering was 15 or 10 years back. How many engineers do we have here? Can we have a yes? If you're an engineer, please type in yes. And especially if you're an engineer who studied engineering without any interest, then please type in double yes. Yes, yes. That will include me. So yeah. So if you see, yeah, thank you for your replies. A lot of yeses coming in. If you see, 10, 15 years back, engineering was a fashion. It was a fad. People were doing it because it was cool. I myself took engineering because I thought it was cool. But only after taking engineering, I realized, man, within the first week, I realized this is not my cup of tea. Engineering is not bad. It's an amazing field of study, right? But it's just not meant for certain people. So what happened in India, especially in the last 15 years, was a lot of us jumped into engineering because it was a fashion. And today we see the same thing happen with entrepreneurship. Everybody wants to become an entrepreneur. And again, this is a mistake that we are doing. Entrepreneurship is not the end of it all, right? It's not that only if you become an entrepreneur, you'll be successful, you'll be famous. No, that's not the case. So let's get out of this bubble that, oh my God, I have to become an entrepreneur, even though I don't know whether it's for me or not, right? So you can be a backbencher, you can be a front bencher, you can be an introvert, an extrovert. It doesn't matter. Based on your skills, either entrepreneurship could work for you. Because I have seen certain friends, they try to do business, and because they watch a documentary about Steve Jobs, it's like, bang, I want to become Steve Jobs. But they don't realize it's not for them. That's why this topic has been selected. In the quest of becoming a Steve Jobs, you might lose the opportunity to become a Sundar Pichai. You understand what I'm saying? Let me ask you something. If you want me to give you a comparative analysis between Sundar Pichai and Steve Jobs, okay, let me have a quick show of hands. How many Steve Jobs fans do we have here? Raise your hands up. If you're a Steve Jobs fan, just say yes. Okay. Okay. Somebody's a fan of Tony Stark. We're looking at real and not imaginary figures, but okay. Great. A lot of Steve Jobs fans here. Amazing. Great. Okay. Elon Musk. Great. How many Sundar Pichai fans here? Type in yes. Okay. Okay, great. See, we have a mix. We have an interesting mix. Now, let me tell you something, right? I usually have this debate with some of my friends from the industry, and they're like, man, Steve Jobs is better, Sundar Pichai is better. I would say each one of them is better in their own way. In some ways, Sundar Pichai is better than Steve Jobs that you would have never imagined, right? Now, let me go. For those who feel that Steve Jobs is way better than Sundar Pichai, okay, we have good answers saying that fan of myself. I'm going to come to that. Yes, eventually we have to become our own better versions of Steve Jobs, Sundar Pichai. We have the capability to become better. You have to believe in yourself. So coming to the point, now let me ask you something. Speaking of impact and speaking of how we get overblown by external branding, right? How many of you here own an iPhone? Just type in yes. Let's do a quick survey. Okay, 5. How many of you own an iPhone? Okay. Okay. Great. Somebody says I prefer Android. Somebody says no. Somebody says Nokia 1100. Amazing choice. Okay. Right. Now let me ask you. Let me show you the impact of Sundar Pichai. How many of you have a Google Chrome browser? How many of you have Google Maps? If you have Google Maps or a Google Chrome browser or use Google Drive, please type yes. If you use Google Drive, if you use a Google Chrome browser, if you use Google Maps, please type in yes. This is the difference. Everybody would type in yes. There's nobody here without who would not have used Google Chrome or used Google Map or who would not have used Google Drive, right? This is the impact of a successful intrapreneur. This is the impact of Sundar Pichai. See, I'm very passionate about Indian entrepreneurs, all the more because they're Indian. So when I speak to my friends here from the States, I have Dubai is a multicultural country, and we get to move around with people from different countries. And I proudly tell them, man, that Sundar Pichai has done way more than any of these entrepreneurs you claim to be, because the impact he has created, right? That is the key thing that you need to know here. It doesn't matter whether you're an entrepreneur or if you work for a company. What is the value you're going to add? What is it that you're going to create? What is the impact that you're going to make around the world? That is what matters, right? If you ask me, Sundar Pichai is a far more greater entrepreneur than many of the names that we discussed. Why? Just because the products and the tools and the softwares he was involved in creating, many of us use it today. Millions of us use it today. Millions around the world don't have an iPhone, but millions or billions around the world do use Google Chrome, do use Google Drive, and do use Google Maps, right? So that's the impact of an entrepreneur. Again, before moving to the next slide, I'm stating this because sometimes, entrepreneurs have this ability to show off. Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. When they go to their relative's house and he's working a 9 to 5 jobs, they'll be telling him, "Arey yaar, what are you doing, man? You're working 9 to 5. Be an entrepreneur like me." And they try to down somebody who's working. Whereas, believe me, I have seen people working in organizations and they are doing fantastic. And I would tell them, what you're doing is amazing. Continue being this creative employee that you are. So it doesn't matter whether you work for a company. It doesn't matter whether you're doing your own business. What matters is the value you create. You could be working for a company, but within that company, you can innovate so much that it has a global effect, like Sundar Pichai, right? So it's not about who is better. It's about what you get to do within the resources that you have. And again, I'm going to repeat myself. When it comes to entrepreneurship versus entrepreneurship, what matters most? Three things. Number one, it's on your screen. Passionately giving your best. Give it your best. And whether you're doing business or whether you're in your 9 to 5 job, just don't go there and come out like a robot. Ask yourself each week, what different are you doing? What great value are you adding? How different are you from the 100 other employees in the company? How can you be special? Ask yourself that. That will passionately drive you to give you the best, number one. Number two, please be a good human being. If you're an entrepreneur, treat your employees, treat your co-workers, even treat the people who are sweeping the floor with equal respect. Be a good human being. Similarly, when you're at work, don't indulge in office politics. This is something we Indians are victim of, and we ourselves some consciously and subconsciously do. This politics that we play, this is something we don't get to see in the West that much, office politics. So please be a good human being and have good ethics, have good value, so that, number three, you can create an inspiring legacy. Whether you're an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, when you die, people should miss you. They should, man, I wish this guy were alive. He went too soon. Rather than you die and people celebrate and throw a party, like, thank God this horrible boss is passed away, right? I'm sure many of you have bosses that you would just wish they vanish. How many of you have bosses like that? Please type in yes. Okay, I'm not wishing death upon them. I'm just saying, if you have a boss and you feel like, man, I just wish this guy tomorrow is not in the office. How many of you have felt like that? See, a lot of yeses coming in. So be careful not to be that person yourself. Tomorrow you could be promoted to a boss. Tomorrow you could run a company. So be careful that you yourself don't become that boss that you've hated all your life. So that's why being a good human being and creating an inspiring legacy matters a lot. So wrapping up, entrepreneurship, whether you're entrepreneur, please be a good human being. That's the bottom line. Okay, now getting into definition. So a lot of people define entrepreneurship in different ways, right? So I'm going to keep it simple. An entrepreneur is a person who finds interesting ideas and solutions and then walks the talk to make them practically, socially, and financially viable, despite his or her own challenges and limited resources. You can take a picture of this. It's a very concise definition of what an entrepreneur is. So there are three parts to this definition. An entrepreneur is a person who finds interesting ideas and solutions. That is what defines an entrepreneur, right? He finds ideas or solutions. These are two different things. Either you create a new idea or there's a problem and you come up with an interesting solution for it. So whether you're a businessman or you're working in a company, constantly look for those interesting ideas, solutions. I have something called an idea book. I keep writing down the ideas that keep coming in my mind. And also when I'm going around, I see a problem, I just write that problem. And maybe a few days, weeks later, I get a solution for it and I write it down, right? So note down your idea solutions. Maybe you can create something called an idea book like I have, and just write down the ideas that you have. It's a very interesting thing that you can do. You can do it on your phone also. If you have a note making facility in your phone, just take notes. Whatever interesting ideas you have, just keep noting them. Ideas, the human mind is amazing, and the also thing is the human mind may not be able to retain everything you think. So it's important to note down. So if you have an interesting idea, please note it down. And if you see a problem around you, you figure out a solution. Because we come from we are surrounded by complainers, whiners, who always say, this is not right, that is not right. Ye theek nahi hai, wo theek nahi, this sarila, adi sarila. People are always complaining, right? Next time you see a problem or somebody complaining about a problem, write it down and think how you can solve that problem, right? So for example, I remember me and a couple of my friends, I did my engineering in India, and we always used to think, man, the Indian political system is messed up. What can we do about it? And there is no youth representation. Then we thought, okay, let's create a forum called Yuva, where we get like-minded Indian youth together, where they can solve problems in their own constituencies, like in your own areas. Say your particular area doesn't have a road, okay, do something about it. Speak to your local councillor or the local MLA and petition the government and so on and so forth. So if you see a problem in front of you, rather than complaining, write it down and every now and then see what solutions you can come up with it. So that's a key trait in an entrepreneur. Interesting ideas and solutions, number one. Number two, and then he walks the talk. Okay, you have an idea, you have a solution. The problem that a lot of us do is the noting down remains in the note itself. Take it out and do something about it. 3 years back, myself and my wife were discussing that, there are so many young entrepreneurs like us, but there is no platform for us to connect with each other. So then we wrote down this idea called UConnect. And then we launched it a year back. And now, thanks to God, alhamdulillah, we've done about 40 odd sessions in India and in the UAE, webinars, seminars, workshops. We worked with government entities, corporate entities, and we have actually created an ecosystem where different entrepreneurs, especially from India, can connect with fellow entrepreneurs from around the world and network and travel and so on and so forth. So walk the talk. When you have these ideas, walk the talk. Make a plan to get that idea implemented. And the third aspect is the walking the talk has to be done practically, socially, and in a financially viable manner, right? If you have a great idea, you want to implement it, great. But the implementation should be practical. It should have a social effect. It should not become a social evil. And number three, it has to be financially viable. You should make money out of it. Only then you can sustain it. And all this an entrepreneur does despite his or her own challenges and limited resources. Now, an entrepreneur does the same within an organization or a company. There's no huge difference between an entrepreneur. There are differences, but we will delve into those differences. So this is the definition of an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur is the same, but doing the same thing, finding interesting ideas, walking the talk, making the ideas practically financially viable. He does the same thing. An entrepreneur does the same thing within an organization like Sundar Pichai did. Okay, so this is a quick comparison chart, entrepreneur versus entrepreneur. Again, these are things I will share with you in the chat box. Don't worry. So there are 6 verticals here. Number one is independence, right? An entrepreneur has more independence because it's his decision that has to be taken at the end of the day. And entrepreneur may not have the complete independence of an entrepreneur, but in a way he will have a larger team to fall back on. Time constraints. An entrepreneur is always under considerable pressure, for example, from investors to deliver quickly. And actually, even an entrepreneur will have time constraints. So in that way, both of them will have a time constraint to look into. In terms of the risk aspect, many people say that only an entrepreneur takes the risk and entrepreneur doesn't take a risk. No, it's not the case. Yes, the risk factor of an entrepreneur is less, but still he has a risk. For example, if an entrepreneur takes a decision to launch $1 billion software and it fails, he would be fired, right? That means him losing his job. So there are risk elements on both sides, but an entrepreneur has a greater element of risk because if he loses it all and he has to start from scratch. Then you have something called the value addition. Both of them are required to add value. Now, this is something, again, I had mentioned extensively. Whether you're in your business, whether it's your family business, it's your business, or it's a company you're working in, ask yourself each day, today what new value I'm going to add for my company, for my colleagues, for my organization. What is the extra special value that I'm going to be bringing onto the table? Now, that is something you have to ask yourself and you have to write down. Then number 5 is resources. An entrepreneur will have lot more resources. For example, he'll have an office, he'll have all the setup connections and people around him, colleagues, subordinates, whereas an entrepreneur may not have that many resources, but still he would make through it. That's what an entrepreneur does. Finally comes to decision making. Decision making, again, the entrepreneur is involved in relevant strategic decision making. He takes the final call, whereas an entrepreneur has a board to speak to and get the decision made. So now, coming to the similarities, right? There are 4 qualities that are mentioned here. Whether you're an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, you have to be creative and innovative. You have to be persevering. It's very, very important. Number 3 is disciplined, motivation, and self-starting ability. Number 4, inspiring, passionate, and energetic. These are qualities that are required in both entrepreneur and entrepreneur. Again, I am talking about an entrepreneur who is just not a nobody. If you want to be a nobody, then these points doesn't matter. But if you're running a company, or if you're in a family company, or if you're working in a company, then these qualities matter to all of you across the board equally. Whether you're a businessman or an employee, it's important. It's crucial for you to be creative and innovative. It's crucial for you to be persevering, to not give up. It's crucial for you to be disciplined. It's crucial for you to be passionate and energetic. So it's not like only one would require more. Both an entrepreneur and entrepreneur would require more. Before I move ahead, let me see. Okay. Okay, now coming to the main point. By the way, the presentation is not very long. We have about 3 more slides and we're done. What matters most? Okay, I'm not going to give you a huge list. I'm just going to speak about, when it comes to entrepreneurship versus entrepreneurship, what matters most. What matters most is 2 words: value addition, right? That is what matters most. That is what we spoke earlier as well. Value addition by means of your thinking, by your working, and your behavior, right? These are the 3 ways you can add value: by thinking creatively for your business or for your company, right? By working hard, working smart for your business or for your company. And number 3 is behaving in a nice manner with your employees, with your co-workers. These are the 3 ways you can add value, right? When you walk into your business, your employees, or when you walk into your office, your colleagues should feel happy looking at your face. They should feel, man, there is a motivator that's walked into a room today, and I'm going to have a 5-minute conversation with him or her, and I'm going to feel motivated because of the way he thinks, she thinks. And seeing him work, seeing her work is going to make me more motivated. And because he or she behaves with me in a nice manner, treats me respectfully, I'm going to work more hard with him or for him, right? So these 3 things, value addition by means of thinking, working, and behaving, is what matters most, whether you're an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. Again, I want to give you an example of Dr. Srimati. I have seen Dr. Srimati working firsthand at her office, and mostly those who are working with Dr. Srimati are students. They are teenagers, they are in their early 20s. But if you go into the atmosphere, their office in Chennai, in T Nagar, the atmosphere is so vibrant because they love each other. It's because the love she gives to her students, and she calls them her children. And and when she walks into the room, they're like, wow, Dr. Srimati is here. It's amazing. That's the kind of a leader that you want to become, whether you're running a business or you are a part of a company, right? Value addition is what matters most. Okay, so I'm going to quickly get into Steve Jobs' value addition and Sundar Pichai's value addition, right? Just a second. Right, okay. Okay, Steve Jobs' value addition. What value did Steve Jobs add and how can you learn from it? Number 1, thinking differently and ahead of time, right? That was Steve Jobs' amazingness. He thought differently from his peers, from those around him at the time, and he thought ahead of time. He created products that were ahead of time. Many people think ahead of time, but how do you do that? You look at a problem and you look at the solutions, and then you ask yourself, okay, there is this problem and there are these 5 solutions. Can I create a 6th amazing solution, right? Or sometimes there is no problem, but you just want to make something better, right? And some people, sometimes you don't realize that there is a problem. So he thought differently and he thought ahead of time. I'm telling you this because If you think differently and think ahead of time, people are going to laugh at you. Be careful, be ready. Steve Jobs did it, and many people like him do it. If you also do it, people are going to laugh at you. And if people laugh at you, this is a sign of success. Let me ask you, has it happened with you before? How many of you have thought of an interesting idea, and and people make fun of you, or they put you down? Just say yes, it's happened with me. So if this has happened with you, where people think, you're crazy, your ideas are crazy, or it's not going to work out, or you think too much, it's happened with you, great. So it happens with all of us. Let me believe me when I tell you this. This is a sign of success. When people criticize you for your creativity, for your idea, because you think differently, this is a sign of success. However, what matters is how you channelize that idea, right? And work on it in a practical manner. Right. Okay. So, right. Okay. So think differently ahead of time. Don't be afraid to think differently. Number two, Steve Jobs' validation, go-getter attitude, right? When Dr. Srimati spoke a while ago, what she said, she saw an opportunity, she went and grabbed it. Steve Jobs was like that, right? He was, I would say, very smart sometimes in a cunning way also. Do you know something? Who invented the first Apple computer? Their first machine. Who created it? Do you know this? Who invented the first Apple machine, the first Apple computer? The Macintosh. Yes. Who created it? No, it was not Steve Jobs. See, this is the power. Sometimes the conning power of branding. How you brand yourself. It was like Nanda Kumar rightly said. It was Wozniak. Okay, it was Steve Wozniak. Have Google it. You will learn that he was the one who created the machine first. He created the Macintosh first. What Steve Jobs was involved, but what he did, the game-changing thing that he brought on the table, he was an excellent marketer, right? What Steve Wozniak created was sold by Steve Jobs in a very interesting manner. I'm sure many of you would not have known this. I also knew it lately. But that is what the quality of Steve. He was a go-getter. He saw an opportunity. He saw that his friend Steve Wozniak created something, but Steve Wozniak didn't have the ability to market it, to communicate about it, to sell it. So he grabbed that opportunity. He said, "You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it like this is my product." So he had that go-getter attitude. There's an interesting YouTube clip of Steve Jobs. You can Google, just YouTube Steve Jobs Ask, where Steve Jobs himself, it's an interview of him where he says that he tells people the problem in many people is they don't ask, they don't reach out for help, right? We're shy, we don't want to go and get something, we're waiting for opportunities to come and fall on our laps. No, you have to go out there. So once Steve Jobs, what he did, he called up Michael Dell and he told them that I want to supply some components for you, computer components for you, right? And it went through. Dell was impressed by this young man's confidence, and it went through. So this is something that we need to do. Don't wait for opportunities to come to you. Go out there, go be a go-getter, right? Number three, fearlessness. Again, I mentioned earlier that people are going to make fun of you. They're going to mock you. They're going to deject you. They're going to put you down to the worst of manners. They're going to drive you crazy to an extent of depression. But this happens to creative people. This happens to winners. People push you into a state of stress and anxiety because they can never be you. They're jealous of you. So don't be fearful. Be fearless when it comes to sharing your ideas, working on your ideas, but at the same time be wise. There's a difference between being fearless and there's a thin line between being fearless and being wise. Number four, Steve Jobs value addition. Excellent marketing and communication skills. He was excellent in marketing and communication. How many of you have seen Steve Jobs product launches? Have you seen his product launches? How many of you have seen it? Just type in yes. Steve Jobs product launches are very famous. That happen at the Apple conferences each year, right? The developers conference each year where their products are launched, their next batch of products are launched. If you notice, a lot of you have been saying yes, thank you. If you notice the way Steve Jobs speaks, he doesn't speak too loudly, but right from the way he dresses, the black turtleneck sweater kind of top that he wears and blue color jeans and his hand movements and the way he speaks and his jokes, he branded himself beautifully. And he branded not only himself, but also his products beautifully. And that's why And that's why it's important for entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs to communicate really well. I was speaking to Dr. Sahid that, let me ask you something. Again, a question to the audience. What do you think is one of the greatest disadvantages or the greatest challenges Indian students face when they apply for a job, or when they want to compete with entrepreneurs on the world level? What is the one greatest challenge they have? There's one particular skill they lack. Excellent. Lack of communication skills. Alina, excellent. Yes, yes. Rajalakshmi, Aruni, yes. Lack of communication skills. And before that, somebody had mentioned confidence as well. Yeah. So lack of communication skill. And this is something that we ourselves see. We help people get jobs here, for example, in Dubai. And I get these CVs. And, the moment you see the CV, the person is rejected. We ourselves don't want to promote that person forward because there are grammar mistakes in the CV, right? And it's the same boring thing. I'm a hard worker, I'm this, I'm that. It's like the same story we've all seen again and again, right? Do something differently with your CV. Communicate in a more creative manner. At least communicate with proper grammar. So the students cannot be blamed for this. It is the system that has to be blamed for this. In our universities, in our schools, English communication is not given that much importance. In fact, there are schools in rural areas of India where English is not even spoken. It's only courses are taught in their local languages. The students speak in their local language. They speak with students, with teachers in the local language. So the lack of communication skills is something that pulls our students, especially when it comes to career guidance and career growth. So my advice to you is, please brush up your communication skills, both written and verbal. One thing you could do is you can read a lot. Just read newspapers, watch English movies. Believe me, with subtitles, it works. It worked a lot for me. And try to pick up those accents. You don't need to fake it. You need to be who you are. You don't need to suddenly fake it and speak in an American accent. You can speak in an Indian accent, but please without any grammar mistakes, either verbally or and written wise. So Steve Jobs was Steve Jobs because he didn't have a problem with communication, right? Now I only wonder, if Steve Jobs was born in India, then what would have happened? I mean, if this guy was born in India and he was born in a rural part of India and he didn't have communication skills, we would have lost such a great inventor, such a pioneer. So excellent marketing and communication skills is what Steve Jobs brought on the table, and that's what even you yourself need to develop in yourself, and also in your schools and universities. Number 5, the last value addition of Steve, it's not the last, but it's the 5th of my 5 points, is a desire to create products that were a class apart and far superior in look, feel, and function. When you hold an Apple device, whether it's a MacBook Air, whether it's an iPhone or previously the iPod, it will feel great, it will look great, and it will function great, right? That is what a lot of Indian entrepreneurs lack. We want to create products, but we want to create products in a mediocre level. Okay, we want to create it. We create it for, I'm creating a product for 1,000 rupees. I sell it for 1,100 rupees, 100 rupees margin, I'm happy. That's enough. No, rather we don't think of creating a product for 2,000 rupees, sell it for 2,500 and give better quality, right? Design it better, package it better, brand it better, give it a good looking logo, let the features be nice. So that is what you need to look, especially this is for entrepreneurs who are working on product building, right? Make sure you take from the book of Steve Jobs and create products that are a class apart, right? Okay, moving forward to Sundar Pichai's value addition. What are the 5 aspects of Sundar Pichai? Number 1, being an Indian. Okay, for any non-Indians here, I'm joking, no offense meant here. But what I mean by being an Indian is, this is a proof to the fact that you can come from suburban city called Madurai in Tamil Nadu, and come from very, very humble backgrounds and go on to lead the world's biggest technology company, right? Many times in different parts of the world, Indians are looked down upon, right? They are looked down upon, they're discriminated, right? But this is a fact that you can be an Indian, you could be an American, a Canadian, an African, a Kenyan, doesn't matter who you are. But if you have the drive, if you're a good human being, and if you constantly pursue your passion and play your cards right, you can head not only the biggest conglomerate, you can head your own company in the most amazing manner. So the first point here, when I say validation of being an Indian, is he was himself, was happy with him being himself. He did not go to India and have a mohawk and start wearing or have a tattoo around him. He was just being himself. He kept his name Sundar Pichai. How many of you know people who go to India, who go to US from India and they change their names? Like I know, for example, I know people whose name is Muhammad and they go to US and they become Mo, M-O, that's it. They call themselves though, because they don't want to connect with their identity. They are shy with their identity. You know, they will change their surnames also. Sundar Pichai could have done that, right? I mean, Pichai it sounds weird for Americans, but he stuck to his Indian identity, and that's one of the reasons what made him successful. So be proud of your identity, no matter who you are, whether you're in which country you're from. You know, be proud of your identity. Somebody mentions my name is Mandeep. Your clients call you Mandy. It's okay if your clients call you something. That's them. You know, that's how Americans are. They have a nice creative way of shortening names. If they call you that way, it's fine. But you yourself changing your name is a problem. You yourself trying to fit into something and not is a problem. So be yourself, right? That's number one. Number two, what Sundar Pichai did, adapting, learning, and innovation constantly. What was today? Sundar Pichai heads Alphabet, which is the world's biggest technology company. But strangely, what did Sundar Pichai study? How many of you know? What degree did he study? In IIT Kharagpur. Do you know what he studied? If you know, please type in. Yes, Shyam. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, he studied metallurgy. He studied metallurgical engineering. Google it. He studied metallurgy, which is a study. It's a science of the physical and chemical elements of metals, right? From that, he's gone on to become the head of Alphabet, which is a tech company. How did that happen? This is called constant adapting, learning, innovating, right? You need not be stuck in one particular shell. You can evolve. You can constantly adapt. You can constantly learn. But over a period of time, you need to select one particular field and then go into it. Now, this is specifically for those who are students right here, right? So, for example, you would have taken engineering and then you realize, man, I took engineering. This is not my cup of tea. I'm not passionate about it. That's it. My life is doomed. That's what all of us thought. Many of us thought when we were engineering. We said, that's it. 4 years engineering we took. Khalas, poche, ellam poche. Everything is gone. But that's not the case. Look at the example of Sundar Pichai. He did metallurgical engineering and see where he ended up. So this is an example that sometimes you choose a path and then you realize it's not up to you. It's still in your control to change your path. But then you change your path and stick to it, right? So for those of you in terms of career guidance, before you take a degree, be very, very careful. Ask as many people around you and make that decision. In case you've taken the degree, you don't like it, no problem. There's always an opportunity for you to switch your field. But once you switch your field, constantly learn, constantly adapt, constantly innovate in that particular field, like Sundar Pichai did. Number 3 is excellent interpersonal skills. If you ask a behavioral therapist or an NLP practitioner or somebody who is an expert in body language, if you see the way Sundar Pichai speaks, you can clearly make out he has excellent interpersonal skills. Like if you were to work with him, you as a boss, you would see him and you probably would feel more calm. So interpersonal skills not only means the way you talk to each other, but also the way you treat each other, right? Interpersonal skills, being diplomatic, being patient, all this really matters a lot. Number 4, what Sundar Pichai did was he made best use of his available resources, and he created tools used by millions around the world. Sundar Pichai was in Google, right? So he could have thought, come on, man, I'm working for Google, but still I'm not Steve Jobs. I'm not an entrepreneur in my own right. That's it. My life is gone. I'm 9 to 5. No, he didn't do that. He said, yeah, I am an employee of Google. You know what? I'm an employee of Google. And I'm going to be the bloody best employee. And I'm going to create bloody amazing products that people are going to use around the world. That's what he did. Making best use of available resources within the company and creating tools used eventually by millions around the world. Today, you could be working for a small IT firm. But if you do it with passion and you create something with passion and dedication and smartness, that particular tool you create with a small IT company eventually could become a tool like WhatsApp that is used by millions around the world. When the creator of WhatsApp created WhatsApp probably 10 years ago, it was just a small team of 5 to 10 people. And now look where they are. Imagine being a WhatsApp employee 10 years back. How would you feel going into a small office somewhere in Russia and you feel, oh man, what is this? So boring. Only 10 people working with me. Look at my cousin Ashwin. He's working for Google. He's working for Facebook. He's putting these pictures on Facebook. His life is so cool. The campus he's working is was so cool. If that WhatsApp employee would have thought like that and quit WhatsApp today, he would have not been a billionaire. But each of those 10 odd WhatsApp employees who stuck with them and put their passion into that product that millions of us use today, because they stuck and they gave it their best, today they all are billionaires in their or millionaires in their own right. So make best use of your resources, whether in school, college, or in a company that you're working in, or you're an entrepreneur. Don't complain about what is on the other person's on the other grass, on the other side. Rather appreciate what God has given you and make the best use of it, and eventually the outcome would be amazing. Number 5, and I'm going to end with this with regards to Sundar Pichai: working hard and staying humble. Right? Again, many of us have this quality, or we see it from people, that we work hard and we brag about it. Work hard, stay humble, stay polite, stay nice, and that should do the trick for you to be eventually successful. So a wrap up: Sundar Pichai's value addition: being an Indian, which means being yourself, adapting, learning, and innovative constantly, excellent interpersonal skills, making best use of available resources, working hard, and staying humble. And I think we've come to the end. That's it. So we've come to the end of the session. Now you need to ask yourself, so what's best for you? Entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship? I've run you through the different aspects of both entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship. I've dwelled into an entrepreneur's life, Steve Jobs' life. We've dwelled into the aspects of Sundar Pichai. It's now for you to decide. All I would tell you is, don't think that only one path would lead to success. Don't think that only by becoming a famous entrepreneur or by becoming a corporate leader you'll become successful. No. You can be an entrepreneur, you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a social leader, you can be a politician, you can be an IAS officer, you can be an artist, you can be a painter, you can be a scientist. Doesn't matter. Right? Whatever field you select it with passion, select it with the intention of doing good, and select it with the intention of making it financially and socially viable. And that's what really matters at the end of the day. With that, I will close this discussion. And again, with my humble request, I will tell all of you, never underestimate your own self. Don't underestimate those around you, those under you. Everybody is special in his or own way. If somebody is working in a company, don't criticize him. What 10 years, 10 varshama wo company la work pan raha hai. 10 years, 10 saal se company mein kaam kar raha hai. No. If he likes doing it, push him to work harder, smarter, and push him to be the best in his company. If somebody is struggling in business for the past 10 years, don't criticize him. Yaar, what you're doing business, you're not successful. No. Push him to become a better businessman. And eventually, if we all passionately work in our field of passion, relentlessly, with perseverance, grabbing hold of each opportunity, being good to people around us, mainly being thankful to God, being dutiful to God, I think that's all we need at the end of the day. Whether you're an entrepreneur, what matters is what matters. Can you tell me? I'm going to end with this. I had started this. Who remembers? Let's see. What matters most? Whether you're an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, at the end, what matters most? Do you remember? Let's see. I think the person who answers this should be given a prize. Okay, so I'm done. Yeah. So okay, I'm waiting for the right answer. Being yourself, okay, but I'm waiting for the right answer. What matters most? There's one particular thing I mentioned. Yes. Okay. Value addition. Great. I think we should note Sneha Kumar's answer. Value addition. Kumkum being a good human being. Amazing. Kumkum and Sneha Kumar, you've come very close. I mean, yes, I will. The answer is leaving a legacy. Leaving behind a lasting legacy. And this happens only like Kumkum and Sneha mentioned, happens only when you be yourself and be good to others, right? So leave a lasting legacy. Be that employer, be that boss that people love to see every day. They're like, man, he's walked into the office, my day is amazing, and not the opposite. So on that note, I would like to thank each and every one of you. My sincere apologies because I've overshot my time, and my heartful gratitude, thank you and appreciation to Dr. Shahid, to MC Sonia, and MC Joel, to the to Nandini and the entire 3G team. You're doing an amazing job. Please continue doing the same. I'm going to quickly share with some of you. I think I've asked for details. I'm going to quickly share my. I want to check with the moderator. Is there any way I can share a file?
Sir, you can type your details in the chat box.
Okay, because I have a.
Or Mr. Mukhtar, you can share it with me. I can share it to the people here, the participants here.
Is this Nandini? Yeah.
Yeah. Myself, Nandini. You can share it with me. I can share it with the participants.
Okay, I'm going to do both. I'm going to share my WhatsApp number. I'm going to share my email ID.
All right. Okay, sure.
And I'm going to, Nandini, I'm with you. I'm going to share. I have a JPEG that has all my details, which I usually share
perfect.
at the end.
It's a JPEG, and if you want to share the screen, you can share it now. I thought you were going to put in some file.
Yeah, actually, I can share my screen also. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
One minute. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. So you can, for those of you who want my details, you can take a pic. Can you see my screen? Admin?
Yes.
Okay. So the same will be shared in the chat box. However, if you want to take a picture, for those of you who wanted my details, simple, my email ID, my WhatsApp number, and initiatives that I'm involved in, you can reach out to me specifically if you have an interesting startup idea, if you want to expand to the UAE, if you want any branding marketing support, and if you have any innovative idea that you want any growth support for. So I'm going to share this with you for another 5 seconds. You can take a picture and we will close with that. I will also send the same to Nandini. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So I'm done. Thank you so much, the entire amazing team. So
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session. We are really glad to hear you out, and that was so insightful, and it was an eye-opening session, that you brought light to the entrepreneurship versus intrapreneurship, and I'm sure people really enjoyed it. And you kept the audience engaged through the chat, and we could really see that the audience was engaged and enjoying your session. So we enjoyed it as well, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, sir, for graciously accepting our request.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Nandini, I think, have you received the JPEG?
No, not yet, Mr. Mukhtar. No.
I have some questions coming in. Can I answer them or should we close?
Actually, we are overshot by the.
So great. So in that case, I will just a second. Yeah. I am going to share. Can I send it to you on WhatsApp, Nandini?
Yeah, very well. Very well.
We have WhatsApp group for all the participants. We are going to share whatever you are giving us.
Okay. Great.
Yes, all the materials that you are going to give will be shared to them.
Okay. Anyway, Nandini, I have WhatsApped it to you. So if you can put it in the chat box, because some people are asking questions. So if they're not able to, I can't answer them right now. So they can reach out to me.
WhatsApp number, they'll get connected with us and we'll share.
Great. Thank you so much. Amazing. Looking forward to doing a lot more work with you. God bless.
Thank you, sir. Sir, actually, we wanted to present to you as e-certificate as well. Thank you for.
Only e-certificate? I was told I'm going to get $10,000 also.
Actually, that's on its way, sir.
On its way, really? You're giving me a word. I have 343 witnesses, huh?
Yeah, that's on its way. I'm just typing that. Okay, it's coming on the screen. That's it.
Oh no, I was talking about the $10,000. I thought that's
$10,000 in the sense like we are going to type that on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's coming on its way. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for graciously accepting this.
Pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Sonia, for giving a proper closure for Mr. Mukhtar. And audience, thank you so much for your support. Session is not yet over. Now we have one more interesting session which you have been waiting for regarding 3Me Life. A lot of you have been asking question, what is that 3Me Life and how you'll be able to earn, what are the courses I need to do. So now I'm going to play a small video, which is 3 minutes video. And after this, Dr. Maharaja is going to be back and he will explain you and he will answer you what are the questions we have related to 3Me Life. So please let me play this video for you. It's going to be a 3 minutes video for you. It's an ad for 3Me Life and how you can earn out of it.
Join the vision, build India to serve.
Join the mission, build India to serve the world.
Join the mission and build India to serve the world.
Join the mission, build India to serve the world.
Join the mission, build India to serve the world.